Hello, good evening, everyone. Good morning, everyone, wherever you are around the world. We're back again on DFB podcast, all right, with episode 2. Today we'll be talking about discipline. I'm right here again with the mentor, with the visionaire, Saya himself. Saya, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. I am doing absolutely fantastic, man. It is so awesome to be back on this podcast for episode 2. Let's go, man. Let us go right now.
Man, I love that energy, man. I love that energy, man. Like from last week podcast, the stuff that left with me after here is stop existing and start living, man. Like can
Yes,
we go a
man.
little bit on that, before going to today's topic, just a little bit more on that.
Yeah, man. I mean, it left a huge impression on me too. And like I said, man, when you get up in the morning, when consciousness enters your mind and you're awake and you can inhale and exhale and a thought comes to your brain like, yo, I'm alive. Come on, man. You have an obligation to live that day to the fullest,
My
right? Because
goodness.
some people went to sleep last night and they didn't get that opportunity today. They didn't get
Yes.
that opportunity this morning, right? So for someone to be able to get that chance and for them to be able to get up in the morning and then just roll out of bed and then just go unconscious and run through their day like a computer program without ever attempting to do something and achieve something and work towards something. Come on. Come
Wow.
on, you're just
Wow.
existing, man. You got
Wow.
another opportunity, and yeah, maybe you blew it out the park and you totally messed up yesterday. But when you went to sleep last night and you got up this morning, you got another chance. Life gave
Yes.
you one more chance to say, okay, you didn't do it right yesterday, do it today. You have another chance to start living, to go after your dreams, to go after your goals, right? To reach for something bigger and greater than yourself. You have the authority. People have the authority. You don't have to accept what is, right? You
Man.
don't have to accept the conditions, man. And
Yes.
every time you wake up and the day starts, you got another chance to do it again,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
why not make the most of it? Why not make the most of that moment, that day, that time, right? That you have to be able to do something and see something and become something. I mean, that's just the
Yeah.
way I see it, man. That's just the way
Wow.
I see it.
Wow. That is beautiful, man. So like just a little bit of more add on, man. Like I just say, man. You have every opportunity every day. You didn't get it right yesterday. You didn't get it right last week. Guess what? This is a brand new week. It's a brand new day to get it right time, man. To get up and keep living. I was telling
Yes.
one of my friend, man. He was like, yo, you make mistakes. I'm like, no, I don't make mistakes. I told him I'm perfect. And you know
Yes.
what he said? He was like, man, you crazy for thinking that, man. You're not perfect. No one is perfect, right?
Right.
And I was like, no, 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 no. You see, I don't make mistakes. I create learning opportunities. That is what
Mm.
we call it. We call it
Yes.
learning opportunities. You learn
Yes.
from that and you move on. Why? Because I am trying to live and stop existing.
Yes,
Man,
man. Yes. And what's
man.
crazy about that conversation that you had, I had a similar conversation with someone too, man, a friend of mine. And I was like, I told them, I have never lost at anything in my life. Right? And they're like, "What? That's impossible." I was like, "Nah, it's not impossible. I've never lost at anything." And I told them a story about when I first started playing basketball, right? And I played on, I'll shorten the story, but I played on the first team that I played on. It was called Christians in the Hood, and we played in the South Bronx. And I was about 11, maybe 12 years old, and I was like 5'7" I was one of the tallest people on the team. I could jump. I can jump real high. So I was like, yeah, they put me in the middle, right? So I'm playing
Yes.
center at 5'7", and I thought I was good. And we went down to the South Bronx, and we got our tails whiz as every single
Wow.
game. We
Wow.
lost every single game that summer. And then one game, I think it was maybe the second or third game that we played, I got blocked by a female. So every week we enter the park, the whole park is teasing me like, "Oh, that's the one that got blocked by a female." And I'm like, I wasn't embarrassed of getting blocked by a female. I'm like, I was just embarrassed because I realized for the first time in my life I was not as good as I thought I was. But guess what happened? Right? So when people were like, man, y'all are losing, I'm like, nope. Right along the line that you just said. I just had a learning opportunity that in
Wow.
order for me to achieve success, I'm going to have to put in some work. And guess what
Yes.
I did? I put in work. For the next couple months, for the rest of the summer, the rest of the year, I put in work. Every opportunity I got every day became another day for me to get that much better. And
Wow.
obviously, as the story goes, by the time I got to high school, I'm starting point guard. We won the Bronx championship, all that good stuff. Right? I'm like,
Wow.
so when I look back at this, the journey, I'm like, I never lost. You know why I never lost? Because I never gave up. Every day I got up,
Yes.
I started working. I put in work.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah,
Yes.
I'll just put in work, put in a little bit more work, put in a little bit more work. And eventually I got exactly what I was looking for. So no, I've never lost.
Yes.
The only time I you can consider a loss is when you give up. When you quit, that's an L. And when you
Yes.
sit on the couch and all you do is talk and you never get off the couch and you never move into action, then that's an L. If you
Ye-
have a dream and you have a vision for your life and you've never even taken one step towards it, you lost. Right?
Yes.
If you have
Yes.
a dream, if you have a vision, you have a goal, and you started taking a few steps and then you quit, you lost. But as long as you
Yes.
chasing that thing, it doesn't matter if you achieve it when you're 90 years old. You could dream it when you're 10 and achieve it when you're 90. You still won because you never gave up. You lived your life for a purpose, right?
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
gonna tell you one other story, brother. I sat in a seminar with Bob Proctor, the late great, rest in peace, Bob Proctor,
Yes.
and
Yes.
he
Yes.
told us a story about, back in I want to say around 1970, he came up with an idea. He had a vision for his company where he said, I have a vision that I will have a company that operates in every country all over the world. And guess what? Last summer we were on a seminar with him, and at the time he was 86 years old. And he began the seminar. He said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm 87 years old. Back in the 1970, whatever, I had a vision that I would have a company that operates all over the world. And this morning, I got a phone call saying that my company now is in every country all over the world. It took
Wow.
him, what,
Wow.
30, 40 something years to accomplish that vision, that dream, but he never gave
Give
up.
up. My goodness, that is so, that is so powerful, man. That is so powerful. We all have that general knowledge. Oh, never give up on your dreams, But, practicing that, that is where the work comes in, that, it becomes a challenge for a lot of people, 30 plus years to achieve a goal, to achieve a dream. My goodness, that is so
Yes.
powerful, man. That is so
Yes, man.
powerful.
Yes, man. And that is why we say stop existing and
And
start
start
living.
living.
And don't wait
Yes.
till tomorrow. Just start right now. When you hear this message, just make a declaration to yourself and just say, I will start living my life right now.
Yes, yes, because you have the authority. You have
Yes.
the authority, man. I love that. Hey, to our listeners around the world, man, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, if that is not the goal, if that is not the dream, if that is not what you envision yourself doing, tell yourself, I have to stop existing. I want to start living. I choose to start living because you have the authority. All right. So wherever you are around the world, take control of this statement. All right. So today we're going into our episode. All right. Today we're going to be talking about discipline. Discipline, this topic is one of the most, famous topic. I think everyone knows what discipline is. I think everyone that knows what their left and right is, growing up as a kid, I think for me, I grew up in Nigeria, and one of the very first words I came to understand was discipline. You know, if I made a mistake, or if I started acting up as a kid, my dad would say, "Oh, I'm gonna discipline you." So, that instilled a little bit of fear in me to act the right way. According to the Oxford Dictionary right here, it says discipline is the practice of training people to obey rules or a code of behavior using punishment to correct disobedience.
Mm.
Can you hear that? Let me
Yes.
repeat that again one more time. It says discipline is the practice of training people to obey rules or a code of behavior using punishment to correct disobedience. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here to talk about this topic, and we're here to open your mind, explore your mind on what truly discipline is and what it stands for, and how we define it here at DFB Radio. Sire, let's take a bite at this. What is discipline to you?
Man, listen, I'm going to jump all over this topic right now because just like you, I was raised in Jamaica, and right along the lines of the same type of definition and the same type of treatment is exactly how I was brought up, right? So, I am not an authoritarian on this topic or on any topic or any subject or anything in life for that matter. I am simply a practitioner of life and a student of life just like everyone else. And through my knowledge and experience and exposure up until this point, with all my 40 plus years on this earth, this is my opinion. Now let's go.
Yes.
Discipline in the manner in which you just described it, that's in the dictionary, that doesn't sound like discipline to me, right?
Mm.
To me, that sounds like punishment. Punishment. If you do something and you do something against some instruction and there's a reprimand for it, that is called punishment. And I personally am not a fan or in favor of punishing people and then calling it discipline. The reason why
Wow.
I'm doing this to you is because I'm disciplining you. No, you're punishing me. And just, I would rather you just say, because you did this and you were told not to do it, this is your punishment for doing it. Because the only thing you're either going to do is to condition me to do things when you don't know, so I won't get punished, or to say, well, I'm going to get punished anyway, so I'm going to do it anyway and live my life and rebel, right? Because that is the one or two. It does it. So to me, that is punishment. That is punishment. Now, I do agree in the training part aspect of discipline. And to me, it's to train oneself in a controlled and habitual way. That's the
Mm.
way I define it. Because discipline it comes from something of cultivation from within. It's
Yes.
self-discipline. If you
Yes.
make me do something that I don't want to do, I am not disciplined. I'm compliant. I'm
Mm.
complying to what you're telling me, right? I'm
Yes.
not being, it's not that I really don't want to do it. If you didn't impose it on me, I wouldn't be doing it. So how is that? To me, that's not discipline. Discipline is me making the decision. Like you said, brother, I have the authority. So me making the decision from within that I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that because and there has to be a because. I'm not going to do it because it's not in line with my vision. I'm not going to do it because it's not in line with my goal. I'm not going to do it because it's not in line with the person that I am trying to become, right? I'm only going to do things that are in line with my vision, my purpose, my goal, into the becoming of whatever I'm trying to transform my life to be, right? So it's the
Yes.
two directions I go with discipline personally. But what you just described and what you just read, to me, that is punishment. And I grew up enduring a whole bunch of that. And I love the people who raised me and who are in charge of me, but I humbly and reject and do not accept that form of imposement on an individual, namely myself, right? Let me make the decision from within me as far as what I'm going to do, when I'm going to do it, and how I'm going to do it, right? And
Yes.
if some choice that I make doesn't yield me the results that I'm looking for, then that's exactly what you said. I create now an opportunity to learn because now it's a mistake, and I can learn from that mistake, right?
Yes.
So that is my opinion on the subject.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you very much for that, man. I'm glad you brought up how you were raised and how that concept of discipline came to play. As you said, the same stuff. I love my parents. I love those that raised me. But I think we're all growing up, we all have the wrong conception of what discipline is. As you say right here, say it's a sentiment that's been expressed many different ways for decades, even for centuries, right? In the
Hmm.
military, like, oh, they're
Yes.
disciplined, especially
Yes.
in the military. Oh, these Marines are disciplined, these soldiers are disciplined, or, these Navy folks are disciplined. Well, the truth is, the concept of discipline is we instill fear into people, right? To make them not live the life they're supposed to live, or, not make them be creative, right? Like you limit how they think. So how does discipline cultivate fear? How does discipline and fear, rhyme together? You know?
Yeah. I mean, it's exactly what you said, right? Serving in the military for, a several number of years. I was always taught that the definition of discipline from a military standpoint is the instant and willingness obedience to orders, right? Instantly willingly obeying whatever order you are received. And I remember looking that up in a dictionary at one point, and I'm like, I can't find that in any type of doctrine. So I'm like, where did this definition come from, right? And again, if I'm instantly obeying an order, right? If I'm obeying what you're telling me, then I'm just being compliant. I'm
Mm,
complying. I'm adhering, right? Those are the words to describe that action. If it's discipline, then it's something that comes from within me. It emanates from within me. No one has to tell me that this is the right thing to do. I just do it because it's something that emanates and is cultivated and emanates from within me, right? So
yes.
if someone is making me do something, right, then I'm only complying because of possibly the repercussion that's going to come from me not doing something. And I've seen that for many years where people do things that they personally do not want to do only because they're being compliant and complicit to orders and directions that they're given, right?
Mm,
And because of they fear the repercussion of, if I don't do this, if I don't impose this, if I don't follow this, then the consequences of me not following these directions and these orders, right? I don't want to face that. And it goes back to what you said earlier with the first definition that you read with punishment, because I don't want to be punished, so I'm going to obey and adhere and follow whatever I am told and I am given without even thinking about it, even though internally within my heart, within my conscience, I
yeah.
really don't want to do this.
Yes, 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 yes. You're right about that. But I really don't want to do this. And that's why I said fear, because, when we say you have the authority, right? When people do what they're being told to do, even though their conscience, even though deep down within them, they don't believe in that cause, or, they don't think that that decision or that action is the right action to make, but they're scared, like, oh man, you know what, this is the repercussion if I don't do this. So guess what, I'm just going to adhere to the instructions. I'm just going to adhere to the authority right here, the people that think they have the authority. And I'm glad, and I appreciate differentiating that, man, and explaining that. And that leads me, to the very next point we're going to talk about discipline. you know Growing up, I used to think determination, right? As long as you have determination, you can accomplish anything in this world. Like, you have goals, you have dreams, whatever it is, as long as you're determined, there's nothing that can stop a determined heart. You know? But until recently, when I started studying, studying furthermore, I started to realize, wait a minute, determination and discipline, they're different. You need
Yes.
discipline. You need
Yes.
discipline.
Yes.
Discipline is the foundation.
Yes.
Discipline is the starting point to achieving anything in life. Anything in life. I was like, wow, wow, this is mind blowing. I've had this concept wrong the whole time, thinking
Yes.
determination is the deal. So please, I want you to explain it to our listeners around the world. Some of them may be lost as I was, like they may be
Yeah.
thinking, determination, yes, this is going to take you to the key. Explain to us, man, how can discipline, or why is discipline the foundation? Why is it the starting point? And why not determination?
Oh man, yeah, man. This is a beautiful question, and I'm glad that you asked it because just like you, I've heard a lot of different phrases where people like to use the secret or the key. The secret to success is hard work. The key to achieving things is determination, right? I'm sure you've heard
Yes.
those phrases: the
Yes,
secret or
yes.
the
And that
key,
was why
right?
that was why I
And I
followed
and
those
I
phrases.
Yes, and I remember doing the same thing, working hard. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna work hard, work hard, work hard, right? And I'm just gonna keep pushing forward and be determined and work hard. And you're right. And then when I kind of understood experientially what discipline truly was, that it wasn't punishment, that it wasn't necessarily following orders and directions that I didn't want to follow. When I understood discipline as a intrinsic factor, intrinsic thing that I had to cultivate within myself, right? To train myself in a controlled and habitual way. And there's two aspects to discipline that I came across and I found out for myself personally.
Yes.
One aspect of discipline is this is my goal, this is my path, this is what I'm going to work towards, and I am going to work towards this and do these things and take these steps every single day, no matter what, right? And I'm getting small wins, daily achievable goals, and I'm working and I'm cultivating these wins into into confidence and courage, and I'm just developing this winning attitude by just staying on this path and working in a controlled, habitual way, doing intentional things, right, to achieve my goal. So that's one manner of discipline that I've come across. But the second manner,
Yes.
right, is under zero circumstances will I ever fill in the blank. Right. So as I'm working towards this goal, this is my goal and I'm working towards, under zero circumstances am I going to get off track and go that way. Under zero circumstances am I going to go party. Under zero circumstances am I going to go drink alcohol. If my goal is fitness or I'm trying to get on stage, under zero circumstances am I going to eat foods that I'm not supposed to eat. Right? So it's under no conditions, no circumstances, nothing is going to get me to deviate from this thing. So it's twofold, right? And you can see from, if you take the under no circumstances will I ever, right? That is
Yes.
where I believe where the punishment aspect of discipline got confused, where people will view that it's an absolute. If you step outside of this, you get punished. Like, no,
Wow.
that's something that I
Wow.
impose on myself. I impose
Wow.
that on myself. I don't need someone to impose something on me because of the lessons that I've learned up until this point. I know that under no circumstances now will I ever touch that hot stove. Under no, because I don't want to get burned. I've learned a lesson. I don't need you to impose more pain on me for me to learn a lesson that I can learn on my own if you give me an opportunity to use my brain, right? Because it's in the lessons and in that journey that is where the victory is really won. That is where it's won, right?
My
So that is, to
goodness.
me, that's why, the discipline, right, as far as compared to determination and hard work, is different, because discipline is something that's intrinsic. It comes from within, and you cultivate it. It's something that it's cultivated day after day. It's something that you work on because you're taking intentional actions, right?
Yeah,
And you
yeah,
are imposing. It's
yeah,
you imposing things on yourself, right? Things that you will do and things that you won't do. And then when that gets cultivated and it becomes a part of the way you live, right? Watch out, man.
wow.
Watch out. So someone can be determined, and they really want to get there, but I don't think determination is enough.
Yeah,
I don't think hard work is enough. And honestly, in my opinion, I don't believe that hard work necessarily is the prerequisite to success. Because there are successes that I've had, that I know many people have had, I didn't have to work hard for, because I've disciplined myself to just not do something. And as long as I not do something, I will get what I want.
yes, yes.
You see what I'm
Wow,
saying? Like,
wow, yes,
so if I to be clear for the listeners, you can lose weight or you can get in shape, right? The hard work method is, I'm going to enjoy the foods that I love, and I'm going to go out every now and then. I'm not going to drink in excess. I'm going to, drink in moderation. I'm going to eat, junk food in moderation. I'm going to do it. And you can still get in shape and still get your six pack and all of that, but you're going to have to work really hard for it. Why? Because all the extra calories and stuff that you're going to put in, you're going to have to put extra work to burn it off, right? So that's the hard
yes.
work. And you can be determined to get in shape, and still enjoy all those things that you like to enjoy. And determination will get you there, because that's what's driving you, right? To get to those results. And eventually you will get to those results. But check this out, brother. Me, Saya, is just going to be disciplined. I'm not drinking. I'm not going to the club. I'm not going to eat anything that I'm not supposed to eat. That's it. I'm just
Wow.
gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna do
Yes,
what I'm supposed to do.
yes,
I'm gonna relax. I'm gonna rest, and I'm gonna repeat that cycle. And I'm going to get to my results. And
man.
guess what? And the hard work person, you know, I don't believe that they're gonna get there faster than me, because when they're up in the club partying, guess what I'm doing? I'm sleeping. And when they come
Yes.
home from the club, because they're like, man, I had a wild night out with the boys. I had a good night with the gals. I'm up. 2:45, 3 a.m. I'm up. I'm doing my meditations, I'm doing my studies, and I'm in the gym. So
Wow.
eventually over time, my disciplined habits are going to surpass you, even though you may have better genetics, better whatever, more finances, better of everything, a better trainer. It doesn't matter. Eventually, my disciplined habits will surpass your hard work, because I am consistent, and I don't need anything external of me to impose anything on me to make me do what I want to do, because I want to do it. And that's the difference.
Wow, wow, man. Sorry, you just, man, I'm sure our listeners around the world, you just blew their mind off, man, because this is very, very important information you just said, man. This is a mind, this is like, man, you just freed a lot of mind, man. Speaking all this, nothing but facts. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Nothing but the
Yeah.
truth, man. Especially the part, where you said this is where the punishment come into place, right? Oh, under no circumstance should you go out of this boundary. Well, this is someone putting that boundary on you.
Yes.
Someone thinking, oh,
Yes.
they have the authority on you, and then that becomes a punishment. But this is where you tell yourself, you know what? Under no circumstances, I'm gonna do this or that. I'm not gonna go out of this limit. I'm not gonna go out of this limit. And that is how you create that discipline for yourself, man.
Yes. Yes.
Wow, wow, that is amazing, man.
Yeah, man.
That is mind blowing, man. Side, like having a disciplined lifestyle trumps and beats having a determined or a hardworking life. You know, And that used to
Yes.
be me, man. That used to be me a long time ago, man. My present self, man. If I look at myself, I was like, man, if only I had known to apply discipline when I was younger instead of determination, or hard work. Because I'll tell you this, man, wherever I go, I want to be the hardest working person in the room.
Yes.
Like we have that mentality, oh, you have to be the hardest worker. If you're not working hard, then you're doing something wrong. But no, man, no, no. To achieve that dream, man, is not just hard work. It has to start with discipline. Waking up
Yes.
in the gym, you said what? At 3 a.m. you're already meditating in the morning.
Yes.
Wow. And this
Yes.
has become a part of your life over time.
Yes.
For how long now?
Man, I've been following this routine for many, many years, at least 15 plus years. And
Wow.
that is because I recognize that in order for me to achieve the things that I want to achieve, I am going to have to, no ifs, ands, or buts, adopt a lifestyle that is going to take me into the direction that I want to go. And in adopting that lifestyle, I recognize that, wait a minute, discipline has got to be my foundation,
Mm.
because I can't go off and party with the boys all the time and or just do that. I can't just, deviate from this plan or this schedule. I have to figure out what I want to do, where I want to go, and then adopt a lifestyle that's going to take me there. And I recognize discipline is the foundation. Now, I'm not saying at some point you don't have to work hard. There are going to be times when you're going to have to work hard. There are going to be times when you have to work hard. I'm not saying you have to work hard all the time. Not everything comes with hard work. Some things comes with finesse, right?
Yes,
So
yes,
yeah, so
yes.
it's not, so the all those other characteristics, they are important. I'm not saying determination is not important. I'm just saying that if you're determined but you're not disciplined, then you're going to be working hard. If you're disciplined, then when you add determination and hard work, it's not going to require as much as what you would need without discipline. That is what I'm saying. I believe, my opinion, that discipline is your foundation. If you are disciplined, you can build anything on top of that. A lot of the success that I had in my career and in my life and continue to have, it's not because I'm bigger, better, smarter, stronger than anyone. I
No.
look at the people when I walk into a room, just like you said, you're taught to walk into a room and be the hardest worker. I don't
Yes.
I have abandoned that approach. I walk into a room and I'm like, I am going to be the most disciplined person in this environment, right? That's it.
Mm.
And I gauge everyone to see who, what is the level of discipline that's in the people around me. And then I just start my routine. I get up early, I study, I meditate, I work on my mind, I work on my body. I get on my job, and I establish this routine. Boom, 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 sequentially. And over time, people who were better than me, more talented than me, over time, that because they don't have a set routine that's disciplined, and they stick to certain habits, they take days
Yes.
off. And I don't take a day off. They take laps off. They take reps off. I don't take the reps off. I don't take a day off. I just keep going, because it's not. I don't go so hard that I wear myself out, and I don't go so soft either that I don't get quality work in. I go just the right amount of effort each and every single day, and over time, in one course of a day, if I'm getting up early and then I'm doing an hour at chow, and then I'm doing an hour after work, right? Those three
Yes.
hours add up over the course of seven days. That's 21 hours over 7 days. And then I take that for 7 more days. And I take that for a whole month. By the end of the month, I got 3, 4 days of extra work in, right? And then you take that 6 months to a year. At the end of a year, forget about it, man. I am the amount of extra time that I would then put in, the gap between me and the next person is too far. Even if I take a day off, they still can't catch up.
No,
But
no.
that that's what discipline allows you to do. And I sit back and I watch and I go, yep, uh, yeah, there goes a crack in that discipline. There goes a crack in that discipline. Yeah,
Yes,
and
yes,
and that motivates me to stay the course, because you stay the
yeah.
course. When you come out the other end, when you come out the other end, you are going to be transformed, and you're gonna be steps closer to what you're trying to achieve.
Man. Thank you very much for that, side. That was really beautiful. That was amazing. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, discipline. It is that key, is that secret ingredient. Nothing else but discipline. That is what is going to take you to the next level in your life, regardless if it's gym, your personal life, at work, whatever it is, you're having a discipline, not someone imposing rules, not someone imposing authority, but you having authority over yourself, over your thoughts, over your mind, everything. You having the ultimate authority. So, Sai, we've talked about, we've explained what discipline is. We came to differentiate, what discipline, determination, all the secret ingredients to success is. And, we realize that discipline is. Now, the very last question before, we round up this podcast, is how does one cultivate discipline? How does your environment, how does your circumstance, or how does your condition define or affect your discipline? You know, can you
Man,
explain that
that
to us?
yes, that is a great question. Just like I said when we first decided to do these podcasts, I like the how to, right? I like instructions. Tell me how to do it and make it simple. Don't make it so complicated and convoluted that a child can't understand it.
Yes,
That someone young can't pick it up and look at it and say, "Yep, I know how to follow these steps." So, how do you cultivate self-discipline? For me, it is a simple formula. The principle plus intentional actions equal results. I'm results oriented. I'm all about the results. I will say it before, I say it again 1 million times. If I'm doing something and it's not getting me the results that I want, I don't want it. I don't want any part of it. If people got advice and that advice cannot get me the results that I want, thank you, but no thank you. Right? So, and make it simple if you're going to give it to me. How do I do this thing? So, principle plus intentional actions equals results. That is the simple formula, the simplest way that I have come up with teaching self-discipline. So what does that mean? The principle is, what are we trying to cultivate? That's what you fill in for principle. We're trying to cultivate discipline. So discipline plus intentional actions. Boom, it tells you intentional actions. Intentional means you have to do it. It's something that you have to do and you have to stick to, right? That's it.
yes,
So, and equals results, equals whatever you are trying to work towards, whatever you're trying to achieve, you will get eventually if you take intentional actions. Sitting back and praying and say, well, I'm just going to sit back and pray and manifest these results in my life. I'm going to manifest, some muscles. I'm going to manifest this weight loss. And you don't think
manifest some weight loss,
right? And you
manifest
don't
some
think you,
muscle. Wow,
right?
wow.
And you don't think you have to move. You don't think you have to do something. Okay, let me know how that works out for you, champ. But in the and for me, the way I see it and the way I had to do it, I had to do something. So I'm trying to cultivate discipline, and I know I have to take intentional actions. I have to take these actions. What does these actions look like? Whatever you're trying to work towards. So if it's I'm trying to if my results are I want to get muscles, I want to lose weight, and we're just using fitness for this discussion, then my intentional actions are, everyone knows if you're trying to lose weight and you're trying to build muscle, your intentional actions are you gotta eat right and you gotta get your body in motion and do some type of resistance training. I don't care what type, I don't care if it's Zumba, bounce around, you gotta move. And not only do you have to move, you gotta stick to it. So the
Yes,
intentional actions means that every time there's a Zumba class, you better be in it, right? Every
yes,
time you have an option to either, do I eat this salad or do I eat this, you know, veggie pizza? You better choose the salad, right? You already know that. No one has to tell you that the salad is more healthier than the veggie pizza, right? So that's
yes,
the intentional actions. You have to take intentional actions and you have to and start off small. That's the thing. People are always trying to, hit the home run and get the grand slam and win the game, right? They forget that sometimes the game can be won by just getting on first base. Just get on base, man.
Mm.
Just get a hit, right? Just make one play, because when you make one play, you feel good about that one play. When you achieve one thing and you take one step, one good action, and you like the way it feels, you're like, "Oh, I love the way this feels." Okay, then take another one. Take another good step, take another good action, right? Intentional action. Boom. I achieved that. Okay, take another one. And those small daily goals and small victories will lead up. That's why I said at the end of the day, when you add up your victories, you're like, how many L's did I have today? How many W's? Oh man, I had 10 L's, but I had 11 W's. So you had 11 wins. That's a good day. Now tomorrow, I'm going to try to get, 12, wins. The next day, I'm going to try to get 13. And that's how you do it. And each day, each time you get those small victories and you cultivate those small wins, right? Because you're working towards something, you're taking intentional actions, and within those intentional actions you're thinking about, I have to be disciplined meaning what? I'm training myself for what? Whatever I'm trying to achieve, my fitness, my health, my whatever that equal sign is, right? So, and remember, we already defined discipline as things that I won't do no matter what. So I won't do and eat pizza, I won't drink, smoke, whatever that is, because it's not taking me towards my goals. Things that I will do, I will stick to my plan. I will go to the gym. I will check in with my coach. I will hang around people that's going to support my weight loss and my fitness, and not people who are going to try to take me out to the restaurant. I will cultivate this clean environment where, it's nothing but positive image. I will, right? I will because I have the authority. No one has to make me do this. And when you're able to take those intentional actions and get those small wins every day, like I said, the small wins after one day, 2 day, 3 days, you will cultivate so much wins and so much good feelings and good vibrations, and that's where the self discipline will start to kick in, because now
Wow.
you're doing it intentionally. No one is making you do it. You're taking authority over yourself, over your mind, over your emotions, and you're saying, forget the outside world, forget what people are telling me or not telling me. What do I want to do, man? Okay, this is what I want to do. Nothing is going to stop me from doing this, and I'm going to stick to my plan and my regimen, and I don't care how long it takes. Time doesn't matter, because as long as you get up and you can breathe, then you have time. You see what I'm
Yes.
saying? If you're like,
Yes.
oh, I got to get this done within this time. No, you don't. If you wake up and you go, okay, you got time. Now you can work.
My goodness, that was very beautiful, man. My goodness, you have time. You have time. Just breathe in, breathe out. You have time. Breathe in and breathe out. You have time, man. So I love the way you give us this simple, and basic formula to discipline. So, ladies and gentlemen, listeners around the world, if you're listening to this podcast, by the end of this podcast, if you don't have your notes, if you don't have your pen and notes taking, like taking each and every one of these points down, you have to replay this again and then go do the same thing. Take notes and listen, and listen to this key ingredient to success, which is discipline. Which is discipline. Man, Sad, thank you very much, man. Today
No.
you did give us so much insight on this podcast, Sad. Thank you very much on that.
Hey, you're welcome, man. No, thank you for having me, man. I really love this, man.
Yes, yes, that is beautiful. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of the day where we'll leave you with some wisdom, some word of knowledge. All right, side, do you have any wisdom, any line you want to leave our listeners with, so they can ponder upon before we come back for the next episode on next week, Wednesday?
Oh yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. And these words of wisdom was passed on to me, again from a wise old master that I studied under for many many years. And I remember the day the first time I talked to him, and I was so full of passion and so full of conviction, and I went to him and I was like, I want to make a difference. I don't know what that difference is. I want to make a change in the world. I want to make a difference in the world. I want to cause a positive effect. And he just listened to me and he was like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And when I was done, he was like, so you want to make a difference in the world? I said, yeah. He said, you want to make a change in the world? I said, yeah. He said, you want to make an impact in the world? I said, yes. He said, start by changing yourself.
Mm,
Start by changing yourself. And initially I took that as, I was like, what? Like, what kind of advice is that? And then he started to explain. He said, because when you change, the part of the world that you occupy also changes. The part
mm.
of the world that you exist in, you also have an impact on that part of the world. So now you just affected the world. So you focus on changing you. And right then and there, I was inspired, and the rest of my journey took me to this point. So that is my word of wisdom, for my words of wisdom for our listeners out there.
Wow, thank you very much, man. That was good. Again, you heard it from the man himself, man. Start by changing yourself. All right. Start with you. Change start with you. All right. And for me, hey, like I said it earlier, you are perfect. You don't make mistakes. You only create learning opportunities.
Mm.
Remember these two important lines, listeners around the world. Is your DFB director and the DFB podcast anchor right here, right? Remember, desire, faith, and belief. Sign out.